Hey, and welcome back to part 4 of my How to Make Neurofunk series. On this one, we're going to be making our own breaks to resample later. So this episode isn't very in-depth because the breaks that we need to make aren't very in-depth. It's really straightforward. We're just going to use some drum samples out of Live. We're just going to load in default drum racks and build a little drum pattern and bounce it out with a few different drums in it. That'll give us some options later when we're using our break in our Neurofunk drums. Alright, so we're going to also need some original drum loops to sample. I really like to make these myself, but you can use sampled breaks from anywhere. So I'm going to make some breaks. It's really just about getting a nice texture, treating it as if it's an original break, so maybe distorting it a bit as if it's been sampled badly or recorded badly. And so we're just going to use the stock kits. They're perfectly fine. Yeah, sure, that sounds old-timey. So what I like to do is just make a really simple 4-bar loop. It's pretty simple, no need to overcomplicate things. We're going to resample this to death anyway. It's always really good to put as much modulation in these as you can. The little accidents that happen from a real drummer really come through once you turn them into sampled breaks. So okay, and so then for the rest of the patterns, I'll just vary things somewhat randomly. Okay, now normally I'd go through and I'd EQ things separately and all that sort of stuff, but I'm just going to be a bit brutal here because it's a tutorial. So we're trying to make it just sound like a sampled break. I find overdrive really handy for this sort of thing. Really low mix. Maybe saturate it a bit. I'm going to use this as a texture layer, so it doesn't need to be super pristine. We're really looking for character and interest. That clap bothers me. Okay, let's duplicate that and then we'll just drop a new kit in on top of it. Cool, that's fine. Same again. Cool, so now we've got 3 little texture layers that we can use later. I'm going to freeze those, flatten them. Okay, and we're going to use those as sample breaks later. So I'm going to save them in my samples folder, not under hits, just under breaks. So once again, show in Explorer and Borgia, Clint West and Selector. Cool, now we've got a sampled break to work from. Okay, so what we did there was we loaded up some drum racks and we wrote a few drum loops. Then we resampled those drum loops and they're now saved in our sample library ready to be used later. And I hope you have fun using that technique to build your own breaks so that we can use them in Neurofunk drums down the track.